Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a very special, very chilly episode of Special English Corner. I'm your host, Mark. Today, I'm wearing 3 sweaters, 2 pairs of socks, and I'm holding a hot tea. Can you guess where I am mentally?
Hi, Mark, and hello to all our dear listeners. I'm Sharon. Mark, you sound like you're ready for the North Pole, but today we aren't talking about the North Pole. We are talking about a city in northeast China that feels just like it, Harbin.
Exactly. Harbin, the ice city. For our English beginners, let's look at that word frozen. F-R-O-Z-E-N. It means something is so cold it has turned into ice. In Harbin, the world is frozen for almost 5 months a year.
That's right. Harbin is famous for its ice and snow world, its beautiful Russian-style buildings, and of course, the Harbin Institute of Technology, or HIT. But Mark, when people think of HIT, they think of rockets, robots, and hard study. They don't usually think of walking around in a t-shirt in January.
That's the magic. Today we are discussing the warm corridor. In Chinese, it's called暖廊. This is not just a hallway. This is a massive engineering project that allows students to live a t-shirt life in negative 30-degree weather.
Before we dive deep, let's explain the word corridor, C-O-R-R-I-D-O-R. For beginners, think of a hallway or a long passage in a building. But at HIT, these corridors are like glass veins that connect the whole body of the campus.
We have a lot to talk about today. We've divided this long story into 5 big parts. Part 1, we set the scene, why Harbin is so cold and why this project started. Part 2, we look at the physical body of the corridor. What does it look like? How long is it? Part 3, we talk about the student life. What is it like to be an HIT student now? Part 4, we look at the brain behind the corridor, the engineering and the technology. And Part 5, we talk about the heart, the warmth and the care the university shows its students.
This is going to be a long journey, so grab your favorite drink, sit in your most comfortable chair, and let's start part 1. Mark, let's explain to our listeners just how cold Harbin is.
Oh, it's legendary. In winter, the temperature can drop to negative 30 or even negative 40 degrees Celsius. To our beginners, we use the word freezing. When you breathe, the steam from your mouth turns into tiny ice crystals on your scarf. Your phone might stop working because it's too cold.
And imagine being a student. You have a class at 8 a.m., you have to put on a heavy down jacket, boots, gloves, a hat, and a mask. You walk through the deep snow for 15 minutes. By the time you get to the classroom, your glasses are foggy and you are exhausted from fighting the wind.
Then you sit in the classroom and it's very warm because of the heating. You have to take off all those layers. Then the class ends and you have to put them all back on to go to the canteen for lunch.
It's like a puzzle, putting clothes on, taking them off, on and off all day long. This is why the warm corridor is a game changer. A game changer is something that completely changes a situation.
Let's remember that phrase, listeners, game changer. HIT decided that their students shouldn't spend their energy fighting the weather. They should spend their energy on science and dreams. So they built a miracle. Okay, Sharon, let's get into part 2. Let's describe this thing. If I were a bird flying over HIT, what would I see?
You would see long silver and glass tubes connecting the buildings. They look like the walkways you see at an airport, the ones that take you from the gate to the airplane, but these are everywhere.
They are elevated. E-L-E-V-A-T-E-D. This means they are high up in the air, supported by big pillars. Why are they elevated, Sharon?
Great question. There are 2 reasons. First, the ground in Harbin is covered in snow and ice. If the corridor was on the ground, snow would block the doors. Second, by being high up, students can walk over the roads and cars. It's safer and faster.
And the total length is incredible. It started as a small project, but now it connects almost everything. Canteens, dormitories, libraries, teaching buildings, and even the gym. You can walk for kilometers without ever stepping outside.
That's what we call seamless, S-E-A-M-L-E-S-S. It means moving from one thing to another without any gaps or problems. The corridor offers a seamless transition from your bed to your desk.
From bed to desk, that sounds like a dream. But what is it like inside? Is it just a narrow tunnel?
Not at all. Some parts of the corridor are very wide. They have windows from the floor to the ceiling. You can see the whole city covered in white snow. It's like being in a giant warm greenhouse.
Greenhouse, Greenhouse. Usually that's where plants grow in winter, but here it's where future engineers grow. Inside there are chairs, tables, and even charging stations.
I've seen photos of students sitting by the windows with their laptops. They are studying while watching the snowflakes fall outside. It's very peaceful.
And it's not just one floor. Some parts of the corridor have different levels. It's like a 3D map of the campus. I heard that they use special materials for the floor so it's not slippery.
Safety is key. Slippery, that's a good word for beginners. S-L-I-P-P-E-R-Y. When there is ice on the ground, it is slippery. You might fall. But inside the corridor, the floor is dry and safe. No more falling on the ice.
Also, the lighting is very bright. During the winter, Harbin gets dark very early, maybe around 4 p.m. But inside the corridor, it's always bright and cheerful. It helps students avoid the winter blues.
The winter blues is when you feel a little sad because there isn't enough sunlight. The warm, bright corridor keeps everyone's mood high.
So it's a physical structure, but it's also a space of light. Let's move to part 3 and talk about what it's actually like to live there.
Welcome to part 3. Let's follow a student. Let's call him Alex. Alex is a freshman at HIT. He's from the south of China, so he's very afraid of the cold.
Poor Alex. I remember my first winter in a cold place. I wanted to cry. But for Alex, life is different. He wakes up in his dormitory. His room is 22 degrees because of the heating.
He looks at his phone. The weather says minus 28 degrees. In the past, Alex would be worried, but today, he just puts on a t-shirt, a light hoodie, and his jeans. He doesn't even need a heavy coat.
He walks out of his dorm room and enters the warm corridor. He walks to the canteen. The canteen is connected. He has his breakfast, maybe some hot soy milk and fried dough sticks.
Then he walks to the library. He doesn't have to wait for a bus. He doesn't have to slip on the ice. He just walks through the glass bridge. On the way, he meets his friend Sarah. They stand in the corridor and talk for 10 minutes.
In the old days, you couldn't stand outside and talk for 10 minutes at negative 28 degrees. Your face would freeze. But in the corridor, they can relax.
Sarah says, "Hey, Alex, do you want to go to the gym later?" Alex says, "Sure, I'll meet you there at 5 p.m. They don't even have to think about the weather. The gym is connected too.
This is what we call convenience. Convenience. It means something that makes your life easy. For Alex and Sarah, the campus has become one giant indoor home.
Let's talk about the social aspect. SOCIAL. The corridor has become a social hub. Because it's warm and has seats, students hang out there. You can see groups of people working on a project together or even someone practicing their English speaking.
Maybe they're listening to our podcast right now while sitting in the corridor. Haha.
I hope so. Another interesting thing is the 5-minute circle. HIT says that with the corridor, most students can reach their destination in 5 minutes.
Efficiency. HIT is a top engineering school and they love efficiency. EFFICIENCY. It means doing things quickly and perfectly. By saving time on walking and dressing, students have more time for their research.
I also heard that international students love it. Many students come from warm countries like Thailand or Malaysia. For them, Harbin's winter is terrifying. The warm corridor makes them feel welcome and safe.
It's like the university is giving you a big, warm hug. Don't worry about the cold, the university says. We've got you covered.
Got you covered. That's a great idiom, Mark. It means we will take care of you, or we have provided everything you need.
Now, for part 4, let's get a bit science-y. HIT is famous for engineering, so building this corridor wasn't just about putting up glass. It was about solving some very tough problems.
Exactly. You can't just build a glass tube and expect it to be warm when it's minus 30 outside. The first challenge is insulation. insulation. This word means keeping the heat in and the cold out.
Think of a thermos flask for your coffee. It has insulation. The corridor uses special triple glazed glass. That means 3 layers of glass with air or gas in between.
And they use something called low-E coating. Low-E stands for low emissivity. It's a tiny, invisible layer that reflects heat back into the corridor. It's high-tech.
What about the heating system? They don't just use simple heaters. They use a smart grid system. The university has its own heating plant, and they use computers to decide how much heat each part of the corridor needs.
And let's not forget the air curtains. At every entrance where the corridor meets the outside world, there is a strong fan that blows warm air downwards. This creates an invisible door of air.
So when a real door opens, the cold air can't get in. That's brilliant.
Another challenge was the structure. Harbin's ground is tricky. In winter, the moisture in the soil freezes and expands. This is called frost heave. It can push buildings up and cause cracks.
Frost heave, Frostheave. That sounds like a monster. How did the engineers beat the monster?
They used very deep foundations. They dug deep into the earth past the freezing line to make sure the pillars stay still. They also used expansion joints. These are gaps that allow the bridge to grow a little bit in summer and shrink a little bit in winter without breaking.
It's like the corridor is a living thing. It can breathe and move. This is why HIT is a leader in civil engineering. They use their own campus as a laboratory.
I think that's what makes the students so proud. They aren't just using a bridge, they are using a project designed by their own professors and seniors. It's a legacy. Legacy, something important that is passed down to you.
And the project is still growing. They're using AI now to monitor the temperature and the number of people in the corridor. If a part of the corridor is crowded, the AI can increase the fresh airflow.
Wow, it's not just a warm hallway, it's a smart hallway.
We've reached the final part of our podcast, part 5. We've talked about the cold, the glass, the t-shirts, and the engineering. But Sharon, there's a deeper meaning here, isn't there?
There really is. This project cost a lot of money and took a lot of work. The university didn't have to do it. For decades, students walked in the snow and they were fine. So why build it now?
I think it shows a shift in philosophy. Phylosophy. In the past, people thought that hardship was the only way to become strong. You must suffer to learn.
But HIT is showing a new way. They are saying, we want you to be strong, but we also want you to be healthy and happy. They believe that if you remove the small troubles of life, like being freezing cold, students can focus on the big questions of science.
It's about empathy. EMPATHY. This means understanding and sharing the feelings of others. The leaders of the university walked in that snow for years. They remembered how it felt, and they wanted to make it better for the next generation.
I love the phrase humanistic care. Even in a school full of metal and machines, there is a lot of love. The warm corridor is a physical symbol of that love.
It also helps with accessibility. ACCESSIBILLITY. For students with disabilities or students who are feeling sick, the snow is a huge barrier. The corridor removes that barrier. Everyone can move freely.
You know, Mark, I read a comment from an old HIT graduate. He said, I'm a bit jealous of the new students, but I'm mostly just happy. It makes me proud that my school is so advanced and so kind.
That's the spirit. It's not just about Harbin. It's a lesson for all of us. No matter how cold the environment is, we can build corridors to help each other.
What a beautiful way to end our story. For our listeners, let's recap some of the big words we learned today. 1. Freezing, extremely cold. 2. Corridor, a long passage or hallway. 3. Seamless, moving smoothly without gaps. 4. Convenience, making life easy. 5. Insulation, keeping heat inside. 6. Empathy, understanding the feelings of others.
If you're a student, I hope your school has a warm corridor for your heart. And if you're an English learner, I hope this podcast was a warm corridor for your language journey.
Thank you so much for listening to this long special edition of Special English Corner. We had so much fun talking about HIT.
Don't forget to practice your English. Try to describe your own school or office using the words we used today.
Stay warm, stay curious, and we will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.